Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love.
Beyond.
Beyond.
Bed love beyond. Bed love beyond.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for everybody in limbo in love. I am your co-host Martini with
Jen.
Wow.
I'm here. I'm present. Present.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? For this episode, we're going to be talking about first loves and also the difference between puppy love and adult love, and whether they are immature love or mature love. And also coming up, we're going to be talking about soulmates too, and what that's about.
I feel like we should have R&B music playing in the background.
All right, I'll put it in post production. So I guess the first question is, do you remember? Well, obviously no names, but do you remember a time where you thought you were in love, or your first puppy love, or anything like
I
that?
think I'm in love every day. I'm like, I am in so much love.
Right.
I don't know what. Yeah, my first, I think I had boyfriends in 8th grade, but I didn't know what it really was.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my first love was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was a good kid, all right. I don't know, and I just I don't know. It's a toss up between the two of them, but the one, I was definitely oh man, I adore him to pieces. I think that's the first time I cried over anybody, or was got upset over someone. Before it was oh, so and so hasn't called me on my mom's phone, and then I'd just be oh well. But then once you have your own identity and beepers and stuff, he didn't beat me. I don't know. Yeah, so I remember who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I remember everything about him.
How old were you?
How old am I?
No, how old were you?
I was are we having this conversation? I was 16-ish.
Okay.
16, 17.
Okay.
So it mattered.
Right.
I don't know.
It
was bigger than just going to the movie, getting dropped off at the movies, and holding hands. It was we kissed and stuff.
Was that person your first boyfriend, or were there two different people?
No, two different people. First
okay.
boyfriend was I don't know, 8th grade or something.
Okay.
And it was some guy from school, and it was this is your boyfriend. I'm okay. And I think he met my grandma once.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma was oh, he's got a big nose. He's Italian. And I was okay. And then grand opening, grand closing, he was gone.
Right. Oh, okay. So you never felt what you felt with your first puppy love.
I liked him because he was cool and we were friends, but I was also a tomboy.
Yeah.
So he was probably my homie, and I didn't even know. I was friend zoning motherfuckers from the door.
I was waiting on you at the door.
No, so this guy was my boyfriend. Will you be my girlfriend? And I was yes, and I still have love letters from him.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll bring him out sometime. or not.
Or not. Well, that's cool.
What about you?
I remember very vividly. I was in 2nd grade. I was 7.
Oh man.
So this was my first girlfriend, first puppy love, and first kiss. I remember her name and everything. And my first kiss was in, all right, when school is done and then you have the after school program. So she was in that. We were both in it, and so there was school, and then there was activities for the kids, so your parents will pick you up later.
Aftercare, yeah.
Yeah, aftercare, yeah. So I remember when it was me and her, and there was this it was me, her, a whole bunch of other people, and her brother. So we were playing and stuff like that, and then there was this huge ass box, let's say if you wanted to move a big not a big screen TV, but a big TV with a fat ass, the old ones.
Oh, right.
So so it was a huge cardboard box, and we had imagination, just that SpongeBob episode, imagination. So we would have we would play house and stuff like that. So the box was not laid flat. It was laid on its side, so it was horizontal. So I would get in one end and she would get in the other and stuff like that. And we would just like play around and blah 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 and just chill out. And then but I believe the brother knew that I liked her. So like for some reason he like played wingman. So like he was like he kind of like distracted the teacher or something like that, if I can remember. And then me and her, we both like went inside, and then like we just like kissed, but not like obviously not like freaking the Notebook kiss or something like that. It was like peck on the cheek, not the cheek, peck on the lips, like your grandma would or something like that. And it was like, whoa, it was like euphoric and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my god. Is this like my girlfriend? Like I like her a lot and she liked me. So like from then on, like we were quote unquote going out. And
going steady.
Yeah, exactly. We were going steady, and then like throughout the school year. And then I found out that she had to move. So she moved away, and we were both like distraught. We're like, oh my goodness, like we're never gonna see each other again, and blah blah blah. And of course, at that age we didn't know about distance and stuff like that. So like she like moved to the next town, but like I thought like I would never see her again because she moved far enough where she wasn't in the district anymore, so she had to go to another school.
Oh man.
So we're just like, oh my goodness. So like it was so funny, but I'll tell you how effective like the puppy love was, because I thought about her a lot. Of course, there were like other chicks whatever that I had crushes on in the meantime, throughout the course of that school. But then when so I was 7, so 8 years later, 9 years later, I'm in junior year of high school, and she attends my high school. And I see her. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, yo, you remember me? She's like, of course I remember you. I was like, oh my God. It was so crazy. But then, my best friend tried to like, get with her and stuff like that. So that was nice. So
that's how that story ended.
Yeah, that's how that story ended. I mean,
see, now that you say that, like, I did have puppy love when I was younger. There was like 2 boys in my block, certified tomboy, holler. And like, in my head, they were both my boyfriends because they were boys and they were my friends, so they're my boyfriends.
Right.
And I can remember being like, I like this one better than that one. And we're still friends, like Facebook friends. Like they both moved away and have gone and have their own lives. And since I went to a different high school, like I kind of grew apart from them. But yeah, those were like my puppy love boyfriends. But my first real boyfriend who like I loved and adored was 16.
Right. And that's the funny thing too, because like in the high school era, we were cool and stuff like that. Obviously, we never got back together because she had different tastes in men. But but even after that, like even years later again, like we
are like you friends with her now?
Yeah, we're friends on Facebook.
Okay.
So like it's just funny that like we just kept cool through the years and stuff. And like she's married and I think she has like 2 kids and stuff, so that's cool. But like like I will always remember her as like like my first like love, whatever, puppy love.
It's so weird, like, because I don't think that kids these days have that.
Have puppy love?
I don't know. I think it's like so much different with like social media. Like I just think it's a different kind of thing. It's not as natural. It's more like a stalker. I'm gonna stalk this kid on Facebook and
right.
He's my boyfriend.
Or like the love from afar. Like the other person will never know.
Right. There's no like little note passings of like,
right,
will you date me? Yes or no? Check here.
Right.
It's like, he liked my status. He's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
No, sit down.
Or like, they try to like slide in your DM.
Right.
Just like, yo, what up?
Like, oh my God, he hit me on Snapchat. I don't know. I think that's what the kids do.
I guess, more crushes. Well, I guess that's, I guess that's another facet of puppy love. Yeah, it's not like one-on-one or whatever. But it's just like infatuation or like,
right,
or something like that, but not like, I guess, how we had it.
I'd be interested to talk to like a 10-year-old. I mean, it could be kind of creepy, but be like, have you been in love? They'd be like, lady, I'm playing Xbox this week. I don't know what you got going on.
Yeah, you know. Battlefront just came out. Star Wars Battlefront just came out. I'm sorry. I can't talk to you right now. Yeah, I guess I guess that's true. Social media has changed a lot of things. I remember listening to a little 20-minute podcast with Aziz Ansari, the comedian, and he was talking about that. He came out with a book called Modern Romance, which I was thinking about picking up because pretty much he conducted like a real life like survey to talk about how different it is today than any other time, because technically right now it's the dating game is you have the most options
Right.
like ever. Like before, like back in like the 50s or 60s, the radius of you finding somebody, you know, that you love or whatever was somebody in your neighborhood, you know. But now I can freaking find somebody in Australia and try to like get with them, and it could work or it could not. But back then you would never know if your one true love is in Australia.
I don't know. I had a pen pal from Connecticut. I also had pen pals from jail, but that's for like another time.
Okay. That is definitely for another time.
No, look, I like put remember like Yo magazine?
Yes.
Okay, so like I put like my name in it because it was like get pen pals, and I was like, I like hip hop, LL Cool J rocks, and like I put my name in it, and then like so did people from jail.
Yeah.
And like they were like mailing letters to my house. My mom was like, what? It was like
sing.
It was like, you know, Phalo Jimenez, cell block number, blah 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 blah. I was like, and I would like write him back.
Wow.
I had a lot of free time in 8th grade, man.
Jeez. Good Lord. But yeah, so it's he was talking about that. So yeah, it's so interesting to see, and you're probably right. It would be interesting to see if pubescent or adolescent kids know what puppy love is, or do they have crushes, or do they even go steady, or do they just follow the person?
Right.
You know, like, oh, we're following each other, so that's it.
On Instagram.
Like we're good, you know.
I think his tweet was about me. He posted that new Justin Bieber song. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's definitely different. And I mean, I can remember having puppy love and having like what I considered mature love, but I don't know whether or not it really was at this day and age because I don't know if I can really define it. But like, you know, it seemed easier. Well, it seems easy now, but back then you were like, God, I just can't wait to be an adult so I can, like, this won't hurt so much, or this won't be so difficult. Like, adults have easy relationships, and it was all a facade. I'll go back to puppy love any day.
Right. I was looking online and I fell on this article by familiesandlove.com, and they were talking about the differences between immature love and mature love. And some of the attributes that they put for immature love is, you know, it's based on emotion only, is based on your self-esteem being fulfilled by reciprocation, and also is based on the idea that you will do anything for that person, even if your safety is in danger, even if it negatively endangers your self-respect. Anything just to have him or her notice you, love you back. And there's also a lot more.
So like if you like
things.
run drugs for your boyfriend, that's probably immature love.
Probably. And you don't necessarily need to be young to experience
I'm
that.
not like saying like I've done that or anything. I'm just saying like, you know.
Right.
You see what happened was.
What happened was. Yeah, so yeah, puppy love is definitely interesting. And I do want to talk about adult love. And when or do you feel that you have experienced adult love with somebody?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that, and why do you feel that it was adult love?
Mutual adult love or just adult love now?
Adult love.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like it was because like it was an actual conversation. It was like something that grew. It wasn't like a instantaneous thing, and it wasn't based off of like sexual attraction or physical attraction or, it was nothing for like, I wasn't gaining anything by being with the person other than this like feeling of like, this is amazing. Like, this is what it's supposed to be, or whatever you thought it was, it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I think that like, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you love, as long as if it's mutual, it's mutual. If it's not, it's not. But I don't know. I mean, you've been engaged, so I mean, I would hope your answer is yes. If not, I mean,
No, yes, I have experienced like adult love and mature love. Yes, because I was engaged. And before I get into that story, I just want to read like the top 4 attributes that they put for what mature love is, because you were kind of hitting it all on all the right notes that what they were saying. So again, this is familiesinlove.com, and it says mature love knows that love does not happen overnight, which is what you said.
Right.
And it is not based on feelings alone, but a decision to love. Also, love comes with responsibility to have both yourself and the other know what these responsibilities are, i.e., what if we get pregnant? And then another one is, it is about having realistic expectations of the other. They are not there to keep you happy all the time. And I kind of like this one too. Mature love makes room for the other to grow and to have different interests from your own. Knowing that keeping someone in bondage will not make the other love you more. However, having the strength to let the other have some freedom will inevitably help your relationship grow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
those are good attributes.
I feel like they should tell people that, like, before they think they are in love. And then they should actually make an actual checklist and be like, can you check these off? No, then you need to keep it moving.
I've read that some people go for the gamut, like right in the beginning, because a lot of people like the first couple rules about like first dating is like, what is it? Don't talk about religion, don't talk about your ex,
right?
And don't do something. Oh, politics, like
money.
Yeah, well, yeah, but those are the top 3, like relationship, politics, and religion, because those are very staunch. Like
right.
It's a decision. Those 3 things are decisions. There's really no wavering. So, but I hear and I remember 2 people talking about this. A friend of mine and actually a friend of yours, talking about when they first met their now significant other. They were just like, boom, do you like kids? Do you want them? What's really good? With all this stuff. And
well, at this age, I think you have to. And it's unfortunate because it's like, you meet somebody, whether it be on like a dating site or at a bar or wherever the hell you are. I mean, it's like first date, first conversation. It's like, I just want to know if these are things that are on your checklist, because if not, I don't even want to fucking bother with this conversation. And That sounds like so shitty, but like that's what it is these days. Like, because like then it's like, oh, I have a new friend. Great.
Yeah.
I don't even have time for a new friend. I barely have time for my good friends.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and that's shitty to say, but like, I mean, really, like, okay, do you want kids? Yes or no? Okay, well, do you plan on living in New Jersey forever? No? We don't know if I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, and the weird conversation to have with a stranger, but like, then they don't have to tell you really personal things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I vote for like an application.
Yeah. I really don't know. I respect both sides of the coin, doing it very upfront, because you don't want to waste time, and it's not like, well, I mean, you want to get to it or get to the point, but I do understand not wasting people's times, because sometimes you can spend up to like 3 weeks with this person and like find out that they're not the business. So like, I mean, 3 weeks isn't a long time, but it's time.
Right. It's time that you could have been doing something else.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I also think you should really be upfront about like
how serious you are.
Well, not just, definitely how serious you are. But like, let's say like, I don't know, you're dating somebody and they're like, yeah, one day I really want to live in the South. And like, you're not about that life.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, nah, son, I don't do 80 degrees every day. Sorry.
Yeah.
And like, why stay if you already know that that's gonna be like a deal breaker, and they already have their heart set on that? Like, don't ruin somebody else's dream
Right.
for like
Or like
a
try to change
possibility of
them.
love.
Yeah, or like try to change like their ways and be like, but it's nice or whatever. It's like, okay, it could be nice. We could vacay there, no
Right.
problem. But I'm trying to stay here,
Right.
wherever here is.
Right.
So yeah, I understand that.
But it's an uncomfortable situation to have, and I think that's why I'd almost wonder like how much real like mature love exists these days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying it doesn't, but like all the married people I know have had one of these conversations where they're like, my significant other wants to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm just not about that. And then like, from an outsider single person, you're like, why would you bother? Or me, who's like becoming a little too independent in life for everything. I'm like, well, you're your own person. You don't need to do that. Forgetting that they're an actual unit now.
Yeah.
So there has to be compromise. So,
Yeah.
I mean.
But it's hard for everybody to line up everything.
Right.
Like, that's unrealistic.
Does that make it immature love, though?
I don't think so. Like, you're combining people who grew up separately for as long as they've been living, and then now they're trying to like clash their ideologies and the way that they grew up, in a matter of like 2 years. If two people are 28, that's 28 years of living as individuals, and now you've been going out for 2 years and then you propose. That's only 2 years of like mishmashing your stuff together. Like,
Right.
people who have like 25 year anniversaries, they're like, I still find out new things about my significant other every day, and we've been together for 25 years. Yeah, because
I hope they're not like things like he's got like a tail or something. I don't know, like,
no, but like you always find something new, or like the that person surprises you. Like, what? Like, I never knew that.
You like pumpkin pie?
Exactly, or something. Yeah, I find that interesting. But to circle back, yes, I had adult love and I've had mature love. I was in a 4.5 year relationship with my ex fiance. And it's funny because I don't know when this is gonna drop on the website, but in 4 days it'll be 3 years since I got the ring back. So it's I wouldn't say it's a trying time, but I remember, I remember to the day how it went down and all that stuff. But like, definitely we had adult love, mature love, and it was great, obviously until it ended. But
well, I don't think that speaks to the ending. I think that actually speaks to it being like an adult love, because you loved each other, even though like it may not have been like a happy time, but you loved each other enough to know that there were certain things that weren't going to get worked out.
Yeah.
So you weren't going to waste each other's time.
Right. And also commenting on one of the attributes about growing, that's what we had to do, because even though we were growing apart, we were both growing.
Right.
And I encouraged her to grow, and that's one of the reasons why like we broke up, because she wanted to venture out into the world and like really find herself, and I was all for that, because I didn't want her to regret anything. Let's say if we did get married and then have her say like, what if, or anything like that. So I wanted her to grow and manifest into the best version of her possible. So sometimes that's what you got to do, even though like it hurts. But yeah, I mean, I definitely had adult love. But with the adult love and stuff like that, or love in general, people usually talk about soulmates and having soulmates. What is your take on soulmates?
I think my mom and dad are soulmates.
Okay.
I know it sounds like super cheesy, but like my dad was married twice before he married my mom, and had kids with those ladies.
Right.
So I have 3 lovely half brothers, who I love as brothers. And I never really met any of their moms except for my one brother's mom. So I can't really speak of like who they were as people, other than the fact that like they were probably younger and like not really experiencing mature love. And from what I know about my mom's, courting with my dad, my mom kind of chased him. Like, she like got a job at his job to like be around him more. And I think when she started dating him, he kind of had a girlfriend. My dad was a player. But like for whatever reason, they mesh so well.
Right.
Like they just like do everything together. They're like best friends. But there's things that like my dad doesn't like to do that my mom likes to do.
Yeah.
I call my mom. She's like, "Oh, I have to go to this concert with your dad. I hate this guy." I'm like, "Yeah, but he goes to see like some shitty artist with you, so just go."
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Even though I don't follow my own advice. But like, I don't know. Like, I just think like, and my mom always says like he's my best friend. Like she'll say it out loud to like everyone. She's like, "Oh, Frank's my best friend," and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so cute." But like, I don't know if it exists anymore.
Right.
But like I think like when I think of soulmates, I think of them like because they're just like two peas in a pod, and they're really nothing alike. Like my mom has no sense of humor. My dad is like cracks jokes every 5 minutes, and she's like, "I don't get it." Like, I mean, I definitely when I look at them, I'm like, soulmates. I don't think that exists.
Right.
And like sometimes I'm like, maybe I have to like move out of New Jersey to find my soulmate if he's out there.
Right.
Like really? Is there like an app for that?
Hey, there's an app for everything.
like ding 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 ding. I don't know, but
right.
Do you think that your ex was your soulmate?
I do believe that she was, but not in the sense that you're thinking.
Oh.
What's
your definition?
Well, it's not even necessarily my definition because my knowledge of soulmates is what everybody's knowledge of soulmates is. The person that's meant for you, the person that you're supposed to find. If you're searching for love and then you find them and you're like, "Oh my goodness, I have to marry this person," or like love at first sight and all that stuff. It's like, "Oh my goodness, this is it." And then, you either go out or get married and you're like, "Yep, this is my soulmate and this is amazing. This person is great." Because they say, there's somebody for everybody,
right?
And I don't necessarily know if that's true. I mean, I guess if you want to put math into it, like statistically, probably there's somebody for you, for who you are.
I think there's a lot more men being born right now, which is going to be a problem for the ladies in the future, but that's a whole nother problem.
Right. But, yeah, from before we get into my thing, I think with your, not your situation, your parents' situation, I believe that it's more than soulmates, but that they are best friends. And I think that's what people need to try to find or try to mesh, because the way that people have described soulmates, that's out of your control.
Right.
But being best friends, anybody can do that, or anybody can make that happen.
Right.
Being best friends, and I think that's great. Because how long have they been married? Yeah.
36 years.
So 36 years. So that's 36 years of friendship.
Right.
That's great, as opposed to you bumping into each other and both of you guys dropping your books and stuff like that. And then, you look down and then like you look up into each other's eyes and you're like, boom, like soulmates. Like best friends is more probable, I believe.
Right.
And yeah, so before I get into like, I guess, well, it's not necessarily a story, but I was reading this article. I saw this on
Martini reads all the articles.
Yeah, if you can, if you can surmise. Yeah, I read a lot of articles like every day, so that's why I overthink and all this stuff.
I send them to him sometimes. I'm just like, let me know what that's about.
Yeah, exactly. She does. I was like, "Oh man, did you read that article that you sent me?" And she's like, "No, I just like the title." And I was like, But
she's also uncovering other issues I have. But go ahead, continue.
But this was on Oprah Winfrey's website, and she talked to Elizabeth Gilbert, who's an author of Eat, Pray, Love.
Never saw it.
And right, well, it was a book, and then it was a movie with Julia Roberts.
I know that.
Yeah, so it was cool, and she was talking about what the definition of soulmate is, and she says that everybody has the definition of soulmate wrong, and I found that very interesting. And so I'll read the article here. So she says, how many times have you heard people say they're looking for their soulmate? When she embarked on her now famous Eat, Pray, Love journey, author Elizabeth Gilbert did end up falling deeply in love with her now husband, but he isn't the soulmate that so many people search for. And that's exactly why Gilbert says their relationship has a lasting future. People think a soulmate is your perfect fit, and that's what everyone wants, Gilbert wrote in Eat, Pray, and Love. But a true soulmate is a mirror, the person who shows you everything that's holding you back, the person who brings you to your own attention so you can change your life. A true soulmate is probably the most important person you'll ever meet because they tear down your walls and smack you awake. Before she journeyed to Italy, India, and Bali for her book, Gilbert couldn't make sense of that fact that she found and subsequently lost the man she had believed to be her soulmate. Then a friend of Gilbert's carefully explained what a soulmate is and why you don't always want to marry him. He told me about somebody who I had lost, who I thought was my soulmate, he said. He probably was, but you don't understand what a soulmate is. Gilbert recalls her friend saying, "You think it's all roses and happiness. A soulmate is somebody who changes you, and then sometimes they have to leave because the intensity of the relationship is so much that you can't actually have stability." Rather than look to a soulmate for lasting love or marriage, Gilbert now believes in looking for something different. Your partner is something else, Gilbert says. That's your friend. My husband is my best friend. He's not the mirror that holds up my flaws. He's just the guy who's like, I think you're terrific. It's just simple showing up for each other. Gilbert still admits that the fire and intensity of a soulmate isn't without its merits. Whatever they fired up in you, you might have needed fired up, she says, and then you might need them to go so that you can go on your journey. So to go back with me, I believe that me and my ex fiance held up each other's flaws. And that's not to say that she would like barrage me and say, "Oh, you're not this, you're worthless," or blah blah blah. It wasn't any of that. It's just that we both saw things in each other that wasn't necessarily right for each other, but for us to help grow within ourselves and manifest for other people. Because like for me, actually, like for her, she was like very religious and stuff like that, and at the time when we met each other, she wasn't, but she always was throughout her life. But when she got up to me, she was like done with it, and she was done with men. Actually, she always told me this story that I always like belonged in her life because 1 month before she gave up like men and dating and stuff like that, she met me on a dating website, and then it rejuvenated her like love, for love and compassion for men and stuff like that. Like I did that for her, and I also found out that she didn't want even though she wasn't in like religion anymore, I saw that she wanted to really get back into it because she missed it. So I like encouraged her to go back into it and really like gain ground in that, because it was like calling to her pretty much. And I mean, I guess technically you can say I wrote my own like downfall or something like that, and because that was the demise of our relationship, because she got so religious and I couldn't keep up. But at the same time, I fired something up in her, and now she like we still keep in touch with each other. But she told me that recently that she found somebody that is everything that she prayed for. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that the hearing that hurts, but it's also bittersweet because it's cool because she would have never found that guy if it wasn't for me and firing up her true self, as opposed to being selfish and just keeping her to myself and having her not be the best of her ability, getting to the best of her ability. And it was the same thing on my end, because I wanted to grow as, like, I guess, like an artist, a creative artist and stuff like that. And she would always encourage me to do that. And, so I'm glad that, even though, like, it hurts and, like, whatever, the anniversary is right around the corner, I'm glad that she is following her path. And I do believe that we were soulmates, because we were, obviously I didn't want to marry her, but we were so good for each other and, like, passionate for each other. And just like the article said, we had such intensity for each other, but we just couldn't work. So I believe that she is my soulmate, but not in the way that you said, but in the way that this article
I just, like, read,
perpetuates.
like, I mean, my kind of reading, I, like, skim things. But I just looked at, like, 5 or 6 articles about soulmates. I just, like, asked Google what's a soulmate, and
Right.
all these articles came up.
Yeah.
Every single one of them had a different fucking answer.
Yeah.
But the general consensus was that you bring out the best in each other. You help, foster new horizons, and that you guys get each other. And I mean, by some of the definitions, and maybe I have had a soulmate, but I mean, I would think that feeling would have to be mutual.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, or I call them up and be like, "Hey, did you think I was your soulmate?" Like, I'm just checking.
I'm just checking.
I read this article. Okay, well, I skimmed it. You know me. I don't read articles.
Right.
That's something I'm known for. He would send me articles too, and he'd be like, "Did you read it?" I'm like, not really.
Right.
But like, did you think we were soulmates? I don't know. It's like weird. I don't know, and I something that I can't get to. Excuse me, my winter cold's coming. I can't get too, like, invested in my head, because then I'm like, well, if we were soulmates, then we're meant to be together. If we're meant to be together, then we should be together. And then, like, I don't know. Then, like, I already don't like sleep, so, like, I'll be up at night thinking about it.
Right.
So it's really just better to not think about it at all for me. But I do believe that it is for my mom, and I have seen, like, some people who, like, just, like, mesh well together. They're just like my friend and her husband, like, she kind of, like, I don't know, like, just every time she she says to me all the time, like, you think we don't fight. And I was like, I don't think you do. Like, you guys are so awesome together. And she's like, oh no, we fight. She's like, and I want to kill him sometimes. I'm like, yeah, but he's just, like, so, like, present, and he does, like, the sweetest things for her, and he's very thoughtful, and, like, he's just, like, an all-around good guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're soulmates. Another one on the list.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, not that I go around, like, giving everyone the soulmate stamp of approval. Like, you guys win. You get a car.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, in theory, it sounds like a really good idea, but I'm going to, like, take the pessimistic seat right now and just be like, maybe it is, maybe it's not. I mean, I think it's for some people. I don't know if it's for everyone.
Right.
I think sometimes in your head you can, like, manifest that's what you want it to be. And,
Which is why I think I like this better, because in this interpretation from the article, your soulmate is not, you don't get married to your soulmate. It's almost like a muse, like, it shakes you up. It's like, wake up, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And, I've introduced this to you, now I'm gone. So I think that's why, because you can get caught up. I mean, like, love is blind, like they say. So, like, you can be susceptible to your own devices and be like, yeah, no, this person is really good for me, even though they're, like, really not. Right. Yeah, this is my soulmate. Oh my God, we both watched The Walking Dead. Oh, this is amazing. It's like, no, you guys just both watched The Walking Dead. That's it. It's not.
Right,
it's not written in the stars. It's just a good TV show.
Because according to the list, you, like, have to have different interests as well. So maybe you watch The Walking Dead and he watches, like, I don't know, The Leftovers or another one of those weird sci-fi shows. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I still want the app. I'm just saying,
I
like,
still want the
I'm
app.
going on Google Play Store and just like saying, like, I'm gonna go on the Google Play Store and just say, like, hey,
So you believe that in either definition, the one that your parents follow or the one that I just read, you believe that with the relationships that you had in the past, none of them meet either criteria?
I mean, I guess,
Mm.
I guess, I mean, oh, enter your partner's name and enter your name. Hold on, I'm gonna see who my soulmate is.
Okay.
It's called Perfect Match. It's an app on the Play Store.
Right.
I have a Droid. I'm gonna just
You don't have a
see.
Droid. You have an Android. You use
Whatever.
Android OS. Droid is the phone.
Yeah.
um.
Ooh, I'm not telling you whose name I put in.
Okay.
I'm sure you can read my mind because maybe you're my friend soulmate. Oh.
Friend soulmate.
No,
Oh,
it said a
jeez.
friendship or relationship.
Right.
Okay, so I'm 83%. Stars are fond. Your relationship is likely to long last, happy, and beautiful. Of course, do not forget the stellar inclination. Alone is not enough. What?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't get it either.
That's very earthy.
Take
I
them.
don't know. But yeah. So, so yeah, soulmates is a very. It's dangerous because, like Jennifer said, like you can sweep your own self off your feet because you're like, oh my goodness, like, do you see my boyfriend's license plate? The first three letters of the license plate is the first three letters of my dog's name. Oh my goodness, like we're meant to be, and I fell for that hard too because like um that would happen a lot with my last relationship where like I would start connecting the dots and those dots got me in trouble because I thought there was something there that obviously came not to be, but I, even though she even though I consider her my soulmate, I don't consider her the soulmate of before, of what everybody thinks the standard definition of a soulmate is. But I believe that everybody should try and develop a friendship. I don't know about best friend because I don't know. For me, because right now you have to understand that I'm bitter. So like I don't
Damn,
understand.
I thought me taking the pessimistic he was bad.
No, I have no quips or qualms of me saying that I'm bitter, but like I think it's, and I'm not saying that it's not true, but I hate when all the time that I see like weddings on Facebook and stuff like that, they say that like, oh my God, I married my best friend. I was like, no, you didn't, because your best friend is sitting in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know your best friend. Ray's your best friend. You're not marrying Ray. You're marrying Jonathan. You know what I'm saying? So who the hell, so if Ray's your best friend and Ray's your husband, like, I mean, and Jonathan's your husband, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have two best friends. That
I
makes no
think I
sense.
sent you like an article this week. I kind of skimmed it. It was said something to the effect of like, marry the person who will take you to the bathroom, or who will basically like what marry the person who will wipe your ass.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
yeah. Marry the person. I read it. Marry the person who will travel, to the hospital, to the bathroom with you. And basically, it was a woman who had a C-section, I believe. She had a C-section, and well, hopefully all the ladies who are listening, because I don't know, I haven't been through a C-section, but
I haven't. I know. I hear it's painful. I hear that you kind of like. I mean, I think having a kid in general is painful because you kind of like get your period right after. I know you don't want to hear this, Martini.
whatever.
So if you get your period right after, and I like hear that it's like bad, and like it's for an extended period of time because like you haven't had it for 9 months, and then your body's like, here it comes, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and you just push out a baby, so
Yeah.
your like vagina's like freaking in pain
Yeah.
if you had it naturally, but if not, you get a cut.
Yeah.
Now, if you get a paper cut, that hurts. Imagine them slicing open your lower stomach. Oh.
Yeah. And like, you have to like go to the bathroom a lot because like your bladder's like effed up or whatever. So her she used to like guys for their facial features and superficial features and stuff like that until she married her husband, and only then when she had the C-section and when she would look over to her husband and her husband was sleeping like on, uncomfortably on a chair, and he would wake up every time she had to go to the hospital, and he would be like,
To the bathroom.
to the bathroom. I don't know why I keep saying that. To the bathroom, and he would say, like, nice and slow. Come on, nice and slow, because like it would take forever, because you have to like walk at a snail's pace
And
to
not
go to the
rip your
bathroom.
stitches out.
Yeah, and go to the bathroom. She was like, this is the reason why I married who I married, and I love him for it. This is who people should marry. Somebody who will take you to the bathroom. And that's true. Like, you gotta, and it's hard to see that quality in a person, I guess, not under that circumstance, but for her, she said that she's seen it all along, but it wasn't until then she like really realized it. Because like sometimes, yeah, he would like volunteer and stuff like that, or like be really friendly with her side of the family and the nephews and all that stuff. And so she saw that he had goodness in him, but it wasn't until then, and she was like, wow, like this guy, he's my right hand man, like I love him so much. So yeah, I really think that's the stuff that you have to look forward to, because I don't think she ever called him a soulmate. She was just like, no, this is my trooper, like that. I think that's what you have to try to find. And
maybe she doesn't believe in trooper. I mean,
soulmates.
Well,
I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people like soulmates, or like, I married my best friend, and that's great, I guess, if you found him, like if your husband is automatically your best friend. But I think the best friend route is a lot better, or just to have just a great friendship with your partner, because I think some people, they don't really have that, or they don't cultivate the friendship aspect. It's just like, no, this is my like wife or husband and my lover, and we're a team, as opposed to, this is my friend and we crack each other up and we have so much fun with each other. I think that builds a better foundation for a relationship, as opposed to trying to decipher a soulmate. That's like a freaking needle in a haystack, especially like if you live in metropolitan areas too, like New York or anything like that.
Can you have a soulmate and puppy love in the same
Aren't they the opposite ends of the spectrum?
Oh, well, are they? I don't know.
I don't know. But what made you say that?
I don't know. I'm just going over it in my head what we're talking about, and then I'm like, oh well,
maybe soulmate is the adult version of puppy love. Got him.
Food for thought. I don't know. I guess, I mean, even though there are many definitions and many articles that will give you definitions, I think at the end of the day, it's kind of what you want it to be, or what you need it to be. Like we said, it could kind of get away from you and be more than you need it to be. But
yeah, definitely.
I think that overall, like, you have to define it and stick to it,
Yeah. And try to find somebody that fits that mold. And again, we talked about before in other episodes about the non-negotiables or stuff like that. I mean, don't be so stricken with the list. Give yourself some wiggle room, to find the person that fits your definition of what a soulmate is, but. Yeah, but I would definitely want to know what you think a soulmate is. So if you want to write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com, I would love to hear what you guys think. And then we'll read your suggestions on the air.
Yeah, even like, the younger generation, like we're in our mid-30s. Like, what are the 20s?
Yeah, please. Yeah, because it's, well, I don't want to say generational gap, but you guys are like the millennials and stuff like that. So yeah, have you ever had puppy love? Do you believe in puppy love? Do you believe in actual love?
They might believe that, like, not they. Sorry, I don't mean no categories. Oh, the millennials. But, like, thinking about it now, like, kids now, like, are like, oh my God, Justin Bieber's my soulmate. But he can't possibly be because he's mine. So, like,
stupid.
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested to see what other people think.
Yeah, because it's a big issue because people will lay their lives on for trying to find their soulmate, or like they won't settle for anything less than if that person meets everything. Either that person meets everything on their list, or they don't feel that that euphoric feeling inside of them. And it's like, no, this person's it. If they don't feel that, then it's like, no, I'm good. Like some relationships, they take a bit, or even the dating stuff. Maybe you got to like date that same person, maybe like 6-7 times or something like that before like, oh nah, like this person's actually pretty freaking good. Like you shouldn't dead them. Like, you shouldn't, you shouldn't dead that person that you're dating as quick as you swipe left. You know what I mean? So that's what you gotta do. So because like, our generation, we went out, but you guys have the luxury of swiping. So you never have to see that person again. So it's definitely different. That's why we want to hear from you guys to see what your definition is. But we are, I believe we're at the end of the podcast, right?
Oh, I have my meme of the day.
Well, right, yeah, that's what I was gonna get into. So, we're nearing the end of the podcast. So if you didn't listen to the last episode, you should have. But we have this thing called meme of the day, and it's where myself or Jennifer find a meme. And whether, mostly it's about, the topics that we talk about, like, love, sex, or relationships and all that stuff. And Jennifer reads it, and then we kind of like try to break it down and see what it means to us. So Jennifer, please read the meme.
I don't really know what website this is from. Oh, humorspot.com. So it says, there's an old tale that says soulmates' minds are connected from birth. When you can't sleep, your soulmate can't sleep either. So the next time you're lying awake, know that somewhere, someone else is lying awake too. I wish he'd call me because I'm bored. Like Candy Crush is just not me.
See, and I see two sides of that. Like that sounds really sweet because I've also.
He said that sounds really sweet.
No, it sounds really sweet because I've also heard a meme where it's about like, if you're dreaming, like, no, if you're dreaming or something like that, and like someone else is in your dream or something. I don't know. It was really weird. You probably know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. If you're like dreaming about somebody, that means that person is awake and
thinking of
you.
Thinking
of you, something like that. So like that's cool too. But on the other end is exactly what I'm talking about. Like if someone reads that, they're like, oh my god, that's amazing. That's it. I'm gonna freaking end it with Ralph because I'm gonna abide by that thing that Jennifer said. Like, this is, I'm gonna wait for him. Oh my goodness, like this is gonna be amazing. And
you have a
like,
dream about
no.
Brad that night. You call Brad the next day, be like, were you up last night? Were you thinking of me? And I'm like, what, bitch?
Yeah, it's like, what are you talking about? Yo, new phone, who this? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, so it could be amazing or it could be a trap, so soulmates, that soulmate stuff, man, you got to be careful with that stuff.
Make it what you want to be, just don't make it everything.
Yeah, don't make it everything. And I definitely suggest, listen, we are not experts, but we have opinions, so that's it. So like, listen to us, don't listen to us. But I mean, you can take our suggestions to heart or not. Be like, who these guys? Like they're both single. What the hell do they know? Yeah, So like, but yeah, I suggest just not try to find your best friend. That sounds weird too. Don't try to find anybody. Like just make sure that whoever you are going after, guys or girls who are being courted or whatever, just try to make the best of it, and then it can cultivate to you guys being best friends. You guys can be best friends, maybe not soulmates or whatever definition, I read or what Jennifer's parents are, but try to, make the best out of any situation that is given to you or that you put yourself in. So, yeah. Any closing thoughts or anything you want to talk about?
No. Soulmates isn't really my favorite topic today. I'm here for the cookies and milk, I guess.
Okay.
But, yeah, what Martini said, he's on point.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses. That's funny. All right, guys. So that ends another episode of Bed Love Beyond. Please, if you have any suggestions about, what topics, you might want us to cover, you can email us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com. We'll look at the subject matter and, we'll talk about it amongst ourselves, and, we'll probably do an episode about it. And we'll definitely shout you out too for giving us the suggestion, because we love feedback. We love that stuff. All right, guys. So we will see you guys next time.